It's 2 o'clock. If you could make your way to your seats, please. Please take your seats. The Putnam County Legislative Delegation meeting is now called to order. Please stand. Commissioner Larry Harvey will lead us in prayer.
Let us bow our heads. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, a day we've never experienced before in our life, a day that we can propel Putnam County into the future today. We ask that you give our lawmakers ears to hear and wisdom to know what they can move forward for us, and wisdom to disintegrate the ideas that we have. Father, we thank you for every speaker that's going to come up. Let them speak clearly and openly. Let them speak from their heart, Father, about the things that are needed. And Lord, let us move again Putnam County forward. We ask that you let us do everything decently and in order, and we give all the praise and glory to you. In Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
And Senator Leek, if you would lead us in the pledge.
I will. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tammy, if you would please take the roll call. Here.
Here?
Thank you very much. We have to do a little housekeeping very quickly here. So at this, as both of us are newly elected as senator and representative, we have to officially elect the chair and vice chair. So at this time, is there a nomination for chair of this delegation meeting?
I nominate Judson Sapp to be chair forever.
I guess I have to second that. Thank you. Thank you. And I nominate Senator Leek as vice chair. So, see no objection.
Any objection out there? It's good.
All right, that passes. So a few announcements. The 2025 legislative session will convene in Tallahassee on March 4th, 2025. I'd like to acknowledge elected officials. If you snuck in, we probably don't see you, so I apologize. We'll get to that in who we miss. I've got County Commissioner Leota Wilkinson. There we go. County Commissioner, thank you for being here, Larry Harvey. Thank you for being here. County Commissioner J.R. Newbold. We have County Commissioner Josh Alexander. We have County Commissioner Walton Pelletier. And we have Clerk of the Court and Comptroller Matt Reynolds. Thank you. Tax Collector Brenda Bridges. Thank you. Property Appraiser Clay Davis. Thank you. And Supervisor of Elections Charles Oberturf. We have School Board Member Phil Leary. With the City of Palatka, we have Mayor Robbie Correa. Apologies. You will notice a trend today. I have a habit of mangling names, so enjoy the show. From City of Crescent City, we have Mayor Michael Myers, or Michelle Myers. Sorry, again, that's one of these things. Once it starts, it never ends. With City of Crescent City, we have Commissioner William Laurie. And also from the city, we have Commissioner Linda Moore. With Town of Sonoma Park, we have Anthony Tony Cuevas. Thank you, sir. And with Town of Palatka, we have Jessica Finch. There we go. And just seeing if somebody snuck in there. We have County Administrator Terry Suggs. We have Executive Director Shay Starling, is that correct? Is it Sterling or Starling, because I can't read the handwriting here? No. Okay, thank you. All right, and we have associate, with the Putnam County School District, we have Associate Superintendent Laura France. There we go. With the City of Palatka, that we have the Chief of Police Jason Shaw. Thank you for being here, sir. And with FDOT, we have Commissioner John Browning, who's here. Thank you, sir. And that's who we were able to see that didn't sneak in. So if I fail to recognize you, if you wouldn't mind just standing up real quickly and letting everybody know your name, that'd be great. Well, thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. All right. If you have not been placed on the agenda or have not already filled out a speaker card and you would like to speak, we request you fill out a speaker card now. If you just raise your hand, we will bring one to you. And I also request that everybody please silence their cell phones. We're going to do some quick introductions. I'm Representative Judson Sapp with District 20. District 20, as everybody in here knows, is all of Putnam County, southern part of Clay County, parts of Marion County, and parts of St. Johns County. It goes from the city district, from the city limits of St. Augustine to parts of the city of Ocala. I just got elected, and thank you very much for that. This meeting is often very hard on us because we're here to listen and not engage. So don't be surprised if we reach out to you afterwards to have that engagement. Our goal is to try to get you home for dinner. And so we will keep time, and we're going to try to keep this moving as quickly as possible, but please don't be offended if we don't comment, because we'll probably be reaching out after the meeting for that, because again, the goal is to get this done for you. And now I'd like to introduce Senator Tom Leek.
Thank you. I'm Senator Tom Leek. I'm honored and humbled to be able to represent all of Putnam County. Let me start by introducing my staff over here. We've got Danielle Curbo, Lynette Phillips, and Mike Murtha. And they'll frequently be the folks that you'll have contact with. I'll use them to help me out, to help me get a sense of what the issue is and help me kind of boil it down so we know where to go. Let me tell you what I'm looking forward to. I think in many years in the past, communities like ours have been overlooked in the state legislature. And I think it's time that stopped. Now, what I can't do is I can't promise you that we will win every fight that we're in, but I can promise you that we will fight every fight there is to be fought. And with that, I just want to say thank you again, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator. And my staff is also here, and we appreciate their help getting this meeting up and going. I've got my district aide, Tammy Still, and my legislative aide, Shorty Robbins. And the last thing I'd like to say is, in this room, we all care about this community. We just might not agree on how to get there, but let's start from that place, that we all care about this community. We all want the best for this community, for the state, for the country, for the world, but we might disagree on the how, but our hearts are all in the right place. So we really appreciate hearing from you today. And with that, let's get going. First, we recognize the Honorable Leota Wilkinson with the Chair of the Putnam County BOCC.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp, for being here today. We know you don't do this for the money, because there's no money in this job, but we appreciate the support that you have given and will be giving us in the future in Putnam County. Today we have before you 3 funding requests. The first is for the East Palatka wastewater plant infrastructure expansion. We're requesting an appropriation for the expansion of this plant. We do have limited capacity there. We are currently extending services to our residents in the East Palatka and San Mateo area for septic to sewer conversion. However, we will reach full capacity very soon and still have about 200 to 300 homes that are existing homes in that area that need to be transferred to public services, sewer services. And as you know, Putnam is rural, and so we do not have, full availability to provide sewer throughout the county. And this is one of our this is really our biggest area that we're doing that in. We did receive a grant in the past from St. Johns River Water Management District, and last year we had an appropriation in. It received traction. However, it was not funded. And as you know, the Florida legislature has made it a priority to remove septic tanks, particularly on the river, to sewer systems. And so the expansion of this plant will aid our county in reducing the nutrient loads along the St. Johns River. A lot of those homes in that area are directly on the river. And so we would just ask for your support. We did complete and submit an application to FDEP for a grant under the Springs Protection Program. And so either way, we'll take the money, whether it's through the grant program or through the appropriation, but that is it's probably our number one priority because it's very important for the future of this county. Secondly, we have the Port Putnam infrastructure. We want to first thank the Florida legislatures for helping create Port Putnam and making Port Putnam an official port recognized by the Florida Seaport Transportation and Economic Development Council, thereby making it eligible for state and federal funding. In 2024, Port Putnam received state appropriation funds from the Florida Seaports Transportation Economic Development Council for demolition and reconstruction of the dockage facility. We are moving forward and getting things done out at that port. We're now asked for the next phase of this project. Port Putnam infrastructure request is for improving a 16,000 square foot cargo area to accommodate imports and exports at the facility. This consists of improving cargo management area adjacent to Port Putnam's dockage facility. This will, as you know, thereby increase economic opportunities in the area. And our third financial request, sorry, I've got, there's not a trap door here, I do know that. Financial software, Putnam County is seeking an appropriation for a new ERP financial system. Putnam County's current financial software system is obsolete. It's actually an old green screen, which is very outdated and antiquated. So this software is not supported anymore. The hardware isn't even available. So we're asking for that support because that's very important to our clerk of court's office and to our customers here in the community, and would just make it very, very more efficient for our community. Lastly, we want to just give our support for the Tri-County Partnership on the medical examiner's office. I know you'll hear that through the other counties, but do know that we are truly supportive of that and would like to see that move forward. Particularly, we have some grant requests in, and we would like from each of your offices a letter of support. I'll get with your staff on that, but of course the one I just mentioned for the wastewater treatment facility in East Palatka for the Springs Protection Program. We also have a Port Putnam Annex property, an Orange Springs Bridge, and Fort Gates Ferry, replacing some boat slips and areas down in that area, which is it's been operational since 1914, and the only 4 remaining Fort Gates Ferry operation in the state. And so those are all raised grants, and so we would just ask for a letter of support. And then we also are asking for support for a grant for FDACs. We have a grant in for the expansion of our facility we were building at the fairgrounds. And so that's something that the state has been supportive of in the past. And then just real quick, I know I'm out of time, we would also ask that you continue to support rural broadband. Even though Starlink is available, it is not affordable to everyone. And we have pockets in this community that are completely, there's people without access to internet. I know that's hard to believe in today's world, but it's truly, that's what happens here. Also, Dunn's Creek State Park, you will be hearing from a constituent of ours who represents the Waterways and Trails, and the request there is to make that an active state park to allow camping and other things. We have 6,200 acres there that's truly not being utilized. And also completion of the trails. We have a great bike trail system, however, there's 2 gaps in it, and we would like to see that completed. So thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I think this is probably a good opportunity to point out that, last year, most communities, I think all communities, actually had their water projects. The water projects were vetoed because the state is taking the gambling compact money and making it a dedicated funding source to fund water projects. So those will now be achieved through grants from the state. So just because a water project was vetoed last year doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just a different path you're going to go forward. It relieves some pressure off of us. It provides a dedicated funding source, but it also relieves a little pressure off you guys because now you don't have to come to the legislature and fight for that money. You go through the grant process.
Thank you for that. Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, and we also appreciate you hosting us in your house.
Yes.
And it's an important rite of passage that every county commissioner gets buzzed, so that's why we did that, just so you could see what it's like on the other
Okay.
side.
Fair.
So thank you all very much. Okay, we recognize the Honorable Matthew Metz, Office of the Public Defender, 7th Circuit. Okay. We recognize the Honorable Matt Reynolds, Putnam County Clerk of Court and Comptroller's Office.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Representative and Senator Leek. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys today. Before I get started, I just would like to thank you guys for your help, especially Senator Leek for all of your help in the past, supporting legislation that have helped the court system, our judicial partners, as well as the Clerk of Courts. Last year's legislation, House Bill 1077 and Senate Bill 1470, helped bring further additional changes to the stability of the clerk's revenue side, at least on our Article 5 funding. So we are very appreciative of that. Thank you for your help and your assistance on that. Our association is currently finalizing our priorities for this year, and once we get those finalized, I'll be sure to try to follow up with both of you. Hopefully, if I get a chance in Tallahassee coming up, we've got Clerk's Day at the Capitol and whatnot, so I hope to catch both of you there. And the only other thing that I would like to say is that I am in full support of the county's priorities, specifically the upgrade of the financial software. As Chair Wilkinson mentioned, our software is quite antiquated and a security risk, so that is something that we'll be looking at either through cybersecurity grants, if that would be the best avenue, or an appropriation. So I would certainly look forward to any help, guidance that you guys may be able to provide. And again, thank you very much, and I look forward to working with y'all.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Just to speed this along, we're going to get you, but I'll let you know who's next so that you can start to make your way up so that you don't have to wait each time for walking purposes. So we're going to call Honorable Charles Overturf III, Putnam County Supervisor of Elections, and Laura France from the Putnam County School District will be after that.
Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome, both of you. Congratulations on running successful campaigns. And so we just look forward to working with you. One of the things that I would mention would be the last 3 or 4 years, the legislature has made some drastic changes in elections. A couple of years, over 100 pages worth of new changes, and we've done the best job we could to make sure that we fulfill what you all's request and statute changes are. I would ask you if there is things that are going to come up, and I know you don't know maybe what's on the agenda just yet, but please reach out to me and let me help in any way that I can, answer any questions. I will say this in closing. We, on November the 5th, had the record turnout for Putnam County, 80.5% turnout, which we've never been close to that before. We were through by about 9:15 with all of our results, and they were accurate. The state of Florida was concluded by about 10:30, and they were accurate. And there was another state that I won't name that a week before Christmas was still counting their ballots. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we continue to provide Putnam and the state of Florida with the best election results. And again, anything we can do to help you all or answer anything, please reach out and let me know. Okay.
Thank you very much. All right, on deck, we've got the mayor of Palatka. Robbie, you're on deck. And we now recognize Laura France from the Putnam County School District.
Good afternoon, Representative Sapp and Senator Leek. I appreciate us being able to be here today. I have our chair Phil Leary, and our board member Holly Pickens with me today. Dr. Sorensen sends his regrets. He is presenting today at the Florida Career Pathways Network and you'll probably hear more about the program he's presenting on from our Educational Foundation in a few minutes. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. According to the Health Department, Putnam County has one of the highest obesity rates in the state, with approximately 40% of our adults classified as obese. The county's rates of physical inactivity and preventable diseases related to obesity, such as heart disease and diabetes, are also significantly above the state average. Schools play a pivotal role in promoting public health by offering spaces that encourage regular exercise and benefiting both in our students and our community. Our request will be the Pathways to Wellness, which aims to create safe, accessible, and sustainable fitness facilities that encourage physical activity, promote cardiovascular health, and support the wellness of students and our broader community. Currently, existing tracks at Interlochen Junior Senior High School and Crescent City Junior Senior High School have deteriorated, and they are limited in their use, and they create a safety hazard for those students that could be using them. By resurfacing these tracks and adding versatile fitness stations, we will transform the facilities to sustainable wellness areas and hubs for our community to be able to combat obesity in Putnam County. The request would include fencing and security upgrades due to the recent school safety requirements that our community would be able to use them as well. We would be dedicated to maintaining the resurfaced tracks and fitness stations with budgeted allocations so that the future maintenance would ensure that they remain in excellent condition. We would use them during our PE classes and allow our community to use them as well. We want to thank you again for your time and your consideration. Putnam County School District appreciates your service.
Thank you, and thank you for the school board members that were here, too. All right, on deck, we've got Michelle Brillhart, the interim city manager of Crescent City, and we recognize Honorable Robbie Correa. And I did it again. We'll do this for my entire career of getting to know you,
That's
so I
okay.
apologize.
You are not the first, and you won't be the last. City of Palatka, we thank you for having us here, and we have the top three as well. Portable water main line replacement. Palatka had state-of-the-art water systems in the late 19th century, not so much now. So we've been working diligently and replaced 6.8 miles of potable water lines, but we have to continue that process so that we don't have the color of water we have and the poor quality and excessive water loss and intrusion. That's important to our city and to our residents. We also, our other focus this year is to address the need of folks that are without a home at this point in time. We're requesting funding not just to build a facility, but to provide wraparound services and support women, children, and men that are without a home. Right now, there are at least between 60 to 70 people residing in their cars at the train station and abandoned buildings in our house. And I know it's a statewide, nationwide issue, but it's something we really need to address now and not wait until it grows further. Our other request is rural transportation improvements to address our road repairs. Many of our roads, again, were built state-of-the-art in the late 19th, early 20th century, but now are in pretty rough shape. We have brick roads underneath paved roads. Those are beautiful, but again, restoration is pretty costly, and they are also sinking in places, creating sinkholes and potholes that people are pretty upset about. So we are looking forward to working with you. We understand not everything we hope for can be accomplished, but we certainly want some success. Thank you. Do any of you folks have anything? I have my interim city manager. Go ahead if you'd like.
Well, I don't have much more to say. I think our mayor summed it up. We are in need of funding to address this outcry, public health crisis that we have with homelessness. And it seems to be a problem that has many facets to it. In our addressing of it, we will also have a positive impact on crime and other matters that we're facing as well. So we do appreciate, however, the funding that we received last year. We're very appreciative. We are utilizing it to improve our roads, et cetera, but thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Just, if you guys don't mind, so when you come up here and ask for projects, now, listen, you didn't get advance notice of this, but I'm telling you now, when you come up here and ask for projects, one of the things that we like to see at the state is we like to see, everybody's got to have some skin in the game, right? And so when you come up and you ask for money, also tell us what the match is going to be. What is the local community going to be putting in to achieve that same objective? Because that way everybody has some skin in the game and it's not just doling out money from the state. You got 16 seconds left, yes.
So the match in the game, well, or the skin in the game, all right. So the city of Palatka is committed to our share in improvement. Matter of fact, we put in our budgeting at least $500,000 to address the various concerns, and particularly the roads. We put in this year 1.4 million or 2.4 million from our funds to address our own concerns. And also the homelessness, we did put funds in, and we have expended money in those areas.
Thank you very much. And I know some of us have talked separately. Remember, when you do submit that, please submit that documentation with it. It's very helpful to our offices because we're here to fight for you, and we want more tools to fight for you with. So we have on deck the Honorable Ricky Haynes, Mayor of Town of Interlaken, and now we recognize Michelle Brillhart, Interim City Manager of the City of Crescent City.
Thank you both, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp, for allowing us to be here today. I am Michelle Myers, the Mayor of Crescent City. I've got with us today, we've got our Interim City Manager, Michael Brillhart. We have also our Vice Mayor, William Laurie. We have our Commissioner, Cynthia Burton, and our Commissioner, Linda Moore. And with that, I also want to thank you, Representative Sapp, for coming to Crescent City and taking a tour and meeting with Michael. I'm sorry I wasn't there that day, but you see all that Crescent City has to offer. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brillhart, and he's going to go over, of course, a lot of ours are the water projects that you talked about earlier.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We do actually have 6 projects. The first one in highest priority is public safety. The city has a several decades old fire EMS station where we were fortunately able to receive phase 1 appropriations last year in the amount of $1 million, where we will be currently designing and constructing bays and office for our facilities. Last year we served over 932 calls going out from our community for fire and health public safety. So we need this critical project. What we're requesting funds for is phase 2, which will actually construct an ambulance bay and fire bay so that all the components of this facility, public safety facility is in one location. And so we're requesting $2 million. The other 5 projects are utility-based projects. Actually, the city is contributing $119,000 for the design component of the requested new fire station. So we do have some match involved. Regarding the other 5 projects, they are utility water line projects. We have applied for grants and we are continuing to do so, but in hopes of looking at any available legislative dollars. This is in the amount of approximately $3.3 million for constructing new water lines on North Tower, Lake Argenta, Lake Street, and South Tower Water Loop. We have very old lines, as many jurisdictions do. They need to be replaced. These will enable fire protection, and they will enable homes to have the adequate pressure that they need to service the community on a long-term basis. Again, our projects are in the realm of $5.3 million. We have established some grant dollars in the amount of over $500,000 in ARPA funds that we used for the design of these projects, and now we're just simply looking for construction funds. Thank you.
Just real quickly, folks, if you don't mind, I think it's probably a useful time to tell you a little bit about the appropriations process and what we should expect going forward. In the pre-COVID years, there was approximately $500 million in what we call member projects or legislative appropriations projects. During the COVID years, the federal government was just dumping money on the states. And they dumped money on the state of Florida, maybe a little reluctantly, but they did it. They dumped money on the state of Florida as well, and our choice was to either give that money back to the federal government and have it go into the black hole, or make sure that that money was used for citizens of Putnam and Floridians. So we chose to keep that money. That pot then grew to about $1.9 billion. I think we're going to see a return to pre-COVID numbers. So you should expect total legislative projects to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million, maybe it gets to $750 million, but substantially less than it's been in the past. That's the importance of the grant programs. You have a dedicated funding source for water grants, water projects. You should be pounding those grants as much as you can, because there's going to be fewer dollars for the legislative projects in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you both again, and we're encouraged by your leadership in representing Putnam County and Crescent City, Tallahassee. Thank you.
So on deck, we've got Mayor Finch, so you're ready, and we've got Mayor Ricky Haynes now recognized.
I just want to say congratulations to Representative Sapp, Senator Leak. We are not seeking any funds or anything today. Just wanted to introduce myself as the new mayor of Interlochen and let you guys know that I'm looking forward to working with y'all. And that's all we have today.
Thank you. Now we have on deck, do I see, is President Pickens out there? Okay, there he is, sorry. So you're on deck, sir, and we've got Mayor Finch now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I wanted to first thank you both for allowing us this opportunity, and I want to introduce my fellow council members able to attend, Councilwoman Kathy Washington and Councilwoman Kimberly Duggar. We have no appropriation request either at this time. We are working through quite a few grants at this moment. I want to thank you, Representative Sapp, for your help with one in particular, our wastewater treatment expansion plan that we have run into some snags, and with your help, I think we're going to be able to move forward. I appreciate that. We just wanted to put our face in front of you so you know who we are. We want to invite you to Palatka. Visit anytime. We'll be happy to show you around. I also want to above that base is a high-hazard dam, and I'm concerned about some of our residents that live in Palatka in those low-lying areas. And I want to also pass this along to my fellow council if they have anything that they want to add at this moment. But really, I just want to say thank you, and come visit us in Palatka. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Winek, Director of Northeast Florida Education Consortium, you're on deck. Next, we're going to recognize really quickly big shoes to fill where I'm sitting with Rep. Payne. Previously, you also had a great representative in President Joe Pickens, and I just wanted to recognize that we appreciate his leadership for the community that he's offered for over the years. So, President Pickens, you're yours to go now.
Well, thank you for that. I'm also well known here as Holly Pickens' brother-in-law, and I like that just fine too. So I'm going to see each of y'all on Tuesday of next week, and so thank you for that. So I'll keep those comments a little shorter. Tom, I think hiring Mike Murtha was brilliant, and I hope that works out for you. But it's a pleasure to see you again. It's going to be wonderful working for you. In that vein, my assistant is here and in the back and hiding, and that's Susan Sutliff. And so y'all all know her, and she's great to work with, but she deserves mentioning too. What I want to do first is thank you. Most of the folks in the audience think that you're new to Putnam County, and you are officially, but you and I know that what you and Representative Payne and Speaker Renner did for the college over the last 2 years especially has been remarkable. And look, if you help the college, you help this county. But all of the things I'm going to talk about today are things that follow what you personally did as the appropriations chair at the request of Bobby and the support of Speaker Renner. And so this county needs to know that you have represented Putnam County damn well long before you ever officially represented Putnam County, and I want to thank you for that, Senator. Judson, we all know that your father also is on my board, and he is an incredible supporter of the college and of me. And so in your own ways, each of you, before you were ever elected by the people of Putnam County, have served the people of Putnam County, and your family has, and I think that bears mentioning. The move to the state health insurance plan is a remarkable, remarkable benefit for our employees, and I'm grateful for it. But it's also expensive. And as you know, the funding to the college system to help defray some of that cost did not survive the executive branch scrutiny. So our health insurance costs in recurring dollars went from $2.8 million to $5.4, essentially a $2.6 million recurring additional cost that we had to absorb on our own because no new funding went to the college system last year. Senator, you, however, know that $6 million came to St. John's River State College, again, as a result of you and Representative Payne and Representative Renner. $3 million of that, however, was non-recurring. Our first request is that you restore the $3 million non-recurring to recurring so that we don't start this year with a $3 million cut. Money that we actually need for our health insurance. And so number one is, could you please consider taking that $3 million that you funded last year in non-recurring dollars and make it recurring? You also helped the college with a $28 million appropriation for our T building. We only asked for it in bits and pieces, so we got $10 million of it last year. We're asking for 10 more of it this year. I have the forms, one for the House and one for the Senate, already filled out and prepared, and I will leave them with your assistant with a little note from me that says 10 and 3. That's 10 for the PICO and 3 for the recurring appropriation, and I'll look forward to seeing y'all on Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On deck, we've got Ivan Kosimi with SMA Healthcare, but right now we recognize Dr. Patrick Winnick.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and thank you for your leadership, your willingness to serve, and being here today in Putnam County to listen to us. I represent the Northeast Florida Educational Consortium. We work very closely with Putnam County. We've been in Putnam County now for 48 years, serving the students of rural Florida. We have 15 school districts. We're also part of the Tri-Consortia, so there's the Heartland Educational Consortium and PACE. Between us, we have 36 rural school districts. We provide all kinds of services to our districts, the full spectrum of what their needs are. And our board of directors is made up of our superintendents. Dr. Sorensen serves as our chair. I also want to thank President Pickens, who got us in statute several years ago. And we just want to thank you in advance for your support. And we look forward to working closely with you as we move into this legislative session. Thank you.
Thank you. On deck, we have Sam Carr, and we now recognize Laura. I'm sorry, I skipped Ivan. Sorry about that.
So obviously I'm not Ivan,
that
but
threw
I'm
me off.
speaking in his place.
So on deck, we have Laura Pavlas, President of Putnam County Chamber. Sorry, I need to look who I'm talking to before I say their name. Laura, you're on deck. Go ahead, sorry.
Hi. Obviously, I'm not Ivan. I am Sandra Jackson, the Regional Director at SMA Healthcare for Putnam and St. Johns County Services, and I will be speaking on his behalf today. We do not have a request at this time. We just want to have the request that you let us say thank you and share a couple of our services with you. On behalf of SMA, we're very grateful of the support that we've received over the past few years for our services, specifically our Putnam and St. John's FACT team, which we came year after year and finally were able to get recurrent funding. So that was really helpful, and it was huge for us. So thank you very much for that and for letting us come today and just have a couple of your minutes.
wanted to share a little bit that over the past fiscal year, SMA was able to get some funding for a substance use residential program at our K. Larkin location here in Palatka. And that will work in conjunction with Putnam County and St. Johns County Jail reentry inmates. The facility is going to be a 15-bed co-ed facility, and it's not only just for substance use residential, it's also going to be providing some reentry services, wraparound services and support, as well as primary care services at that location. We're currently in the process of construction with a target date of May of 2025 and a target date of commencement for July of 2025 if everything goes as planned. In Putnam County, SMA just continues to provide a wide array of services to children, adolescents, and adults. We've also expanded some of our services at our current location to include a primary care clinic, and we have a future goal of adding an on-site pharmacy at that location as well. Myself and my counterparts will be attending Rural Health Day, so if you have any time that you'd like to set aside to meet with us and get better acquainted and learn a little bit more and ask some questions, we'd be really happy to do that. Again, we're just really grateful that you are here, and we're looking forward to your support and continuing on this endeavor. Everything that you all do and the support you provide is making a huge difference in the citizens of our community. So thank you.
This is probably also a good opportunity to say that when you do come and visit us in Tallahassee, we'll see you whenever we can. The best practice is to ask for that appointment about 2 weeks in advance, because those slots fill up very, very quickly, and sometimes it's just to take somebody who walks in the door that day means we have to knock somebody else out. So if you just think about that when you schedule the appointments. Thank you. Yeah, and most of us have a standing just ask, and if we can fit you in, we will. And we try really hard, often at the expense of our family, which is tough on us. So, but that's our job, and we're happy to meet with you. So on deck we have Sam Carr, but recognize Laura. Sorry.
Good afternoon, Senator Leek and Representative Judson. With me here today, I have our Vice President of Economic Development, Mark Litton, our Vice President of Tourism, Julie Linden, and our Chairman of the Board of Directors, Benji Bates.
Thank you. Like others, we stand before you without any legislative request. But just as a reminder, the mission of the Chamber is clear. We're focused on fostering target economic growth, creating primary jobs, and enhancing quality of life for all residents. Specifically, our executive team met yesterday, and we do fully endorse the county and the other municipalities asked for the expansion of infrastructure, particularly sewer and water expansion. We understand that's a grant process, but we're in full support of that. Also, we're also very interested in the expansion of Port Putnam. We believe with the Outer Beltway coming in that could be a vital intermodal hub for the community, not just in ships coming easier access from Mayport, but also we have easier interstate traffic through the Beltway. We also have rail, and we have airports as well. So that's a vital importance to the future of Putnam County. We also, which you'll hear from later, we're in support of the aviation program through the Education Foundation as well. And again, we're here to help foster that alliance between public and private partnerships. Throughout the last year, we've seen our private sector step up to help this community with economic development. So please, you mentioned that match. You know, again, we're not limitless, but if something comes across your desk and this is a good project and they don't have the money and it makes sense for this community that meets ours, give us a call. Maybe we can rally the troops and come up with some private dollars to help see that project through. Because so many times we hear that, heard it numerous times, ask for money, there was no match, and then you talk to a business owner, an entrepreneur, or somebody, and they're like, if only I would have known, that would have helped me out in my business and it helps the community. I wish I would have known, I would have supported that project. So we're here to help the community, help our public partners, and make the best for Putnam County.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate y'all. On deck, we've got Jeffrey Harvey, and now we recognize Sam Carr, co-chair, Putnam County Waterways and Trails Committee.
Okay. Hello, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you. I was selected by the Putnam County Waterways and Trails Committee to bring this forward. We have a state park here in Putnam County, by the name of Dunn's Creek State Park. It's 6,200 acres of pristine Florida, and it's beautiful. However, you can't camp there, you can't pull your boat up to it, and you can't take a shower there, which is just totally ridiculous. So for the past 20 years, we've had management plans by the Florida Park Service that included all of those items, and it's been a long time. So we did finally get to where we heard that they had allocated funds for the development of Dunn's Creek State Park, and then a hurricane came and blew away some park in Collier County. And of course, they took all of our funds and put them down in Collier County, which we really appreciated. So here we still sit with a park that is totally underutilized. If we could put a campground in there, we would be able to earn TDC funds out of all those camping fees, and that would help the whole Putnam County. We have an asset that is totally available, and it's beautiful. And it's the CSO has 58 members that regularly attend the thing. We put on 20 different events at that park without these facilities, and we just need to have somebody in Tallahassee screaming bloody murder to please build our park for us. So the handouts that I provided to you have the 2019 management plan funding and all that kind of stuff. And so to fully do this thing, it'll be about $6.7 million, which for the Florida Park Service is nothing. And we know that they were going to be building condos in St. Johns County, which they sure need more condos in St. Johns County, and golf courses over in Tampa Bay area, and they surely don't need golf courses in Tampa Bay. We need a campground, we need us a dock, we need to have this park to be opened up for the public. So we'd appreciate it if y'all would consider that. I know that those are not an apportionment request that we're making, but somebody needs to rattle some cages to get us a park built down here for our benefit and for the benefit of all the people here in Putnam County. Okay? So you have all the information on our handout. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. On deck, we've got Jacqueline Cox, and hopefully I pronounced that right. But now we recognize Jeffrey Harvey, CEO of Community Legal Services. Okay, so we will call, on deck is Wendy Kilbrew, but I'm going to call Jacqueline Cox. There we go.
Good afternoon, chairs and members. My name is Jacqueline Cox, and I'm the director of the Putnam County Family Resource Center with Children's Home Society of Florida. On behalf of all of us at Children's Home Society, thank you so much for the $20.1 million appropriation for community partnership schools during the 2024 legislative session. At CHS, we are focused on redefining home by implementing a community impact model that supports children cradle to career. This funding supports the now 50 existing community partnership schools in Florida, including the 7 new sites that were just added in November. We know for many of our students, schools need to become more than just a place to learn, but a hub that serves as a resource for our students, their parents, and the community, with opportunities for expanded learning and addressing the need to access health care, including mental health services. We are proud of the impact we are having on students in these schools by removing barriers to their education. Positive impacts include higher test scores, less disciplinary referrals, greater teacher retention, stronger parent engagement, and more. We are requesting the legislature to increase funding for the 2025 session to continue to implement a similar model here in Putnam County and expand this proven model and impact more students, their families, and communities, and we ask for your continued support. The Putnam County Family Resource Center, modeled similarly to a community partnership school, provides essential resources to families in Putnam, like mental health and substance abuse counseling, outpatient services, an emergency food pantry, a professional clothing closet, as well as support groups for parents, teens, and families. In-house, we also have our Healthy Start team, who supports pregnant women with babies under 3 years of age, as well as our mobile response team, a 24/7 mental health crisis hotline. They have been instrumental in helping the Putnam County Sheriff's Office lower Baker Acts in the county by 40%. Our in-house partner, UF Health Care Connect, also hosts a telehealth kiosk for community residents to speak to a physician for acute symptoms at no cost to the patient. Our Putnam Family Resource Center is funded locally and would like to invite you out for a tour of the Family Resource Center to see firsthand the services we offer to your constituents. We'll be scheduling kind of a reshaping event for Putnam County in the near future, so a formal invitation will be sent to you, and we will not be scheduling it during one of the interim committee weeks. Thank you so much for your time, your enthusiasm to serve our state, and for your consideration for these priorities. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On deck, we have Rachel Mueller, and we recognize Wendy Kilbrew from the Tim Tebow Foundation, Night to Shine.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you so much for allowing me to speak before you today. I am Wendy Kilbrew. I am a representative of First Baptist Church. We are partnered with the Tim Tebow Foundation, and we host the Night to Shine with a co-host, Calvary Missionary Baptist Church here in Palatka. Last year was our very first year hosting this event. Night to Shine is actually a prom experience event for anyone living with special needs or disabilities age 14 and up. So what I would like to do is just kind of walk you through the event and tell you about the event. I'm not here to ask you for funding or anything. I'm just here to show you that there is exceptional assistance here in Putnam County for some disabled and special needs kids 14 and up. So what we do is we register our attendees on a website. When they come to the event, they are checked in. They are assigned a buddy. A buddy is someone who stays with them the whole time they are at the prom experience. So their parents are given a time of rest away from them. They are at the same location, but they are not in the prom experience. So their buddy takes them around to hair bow and shoe shine area where the girls get a little tinsel, a little fluff, the guys get a bow tie and their shoe shine, and then they are escorted with their buddy back around to the entrance of the event where there are limos and classic cars. The classic cars and limos take them around to the red carpet experience, around to the front of the building. A red carpet experience, as you know, signifies honor and dignity. So that's what we like to do, is we like to show these special needs attendees that they are honored, valued, seen, heard, and loved on. As they come down the red carpet, if they are a sensory sensitive person, all of the flashing lights, the music is turned off, so we don't want to overload their sensories. So if they are not, they get the full effect of a paparazzi, the cameras, the music, the high-fiving, the signs, the patting on the back. Once they go into the prom experience, they have a catered meal. Their buddy's still with them. They have a catered meal. And then after the meal, they dance. And they dance, and they dance the night away with a DJ. So we also have a karaoke room, so that if they choose to sing karaoke, they have an opportunity to go outside of the dancing experience. That experience was so popular last year that we're going to have two. Prom. On the flip side of this, the caregivers are given a catered meal, and they are given a couple hours of rest away from their working 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So what we have seen is that after the event, there is a sense of well-being amongst the attendees. So last year we had 96. This year we have 110 already registered. Our goal is 125 this year, special needs attendees. So I want to thank you for your attention and my opportunity to present before you today. I do have a flash drive after the meeting, if anyone would like to see the event from last year, to actually see what Night to Shine is.
Thank you, and thank you for what you do for the community, and we appreciate that. On deck, we've got Les Sims. Now I call Rachel Mueller, Goodwill Industries of North Florida.
Good afternoon. I'm Rachel Mueller, Goodwill Industries of North Florida. I'm on our leadership team as our Chief Fund Development Officer. With me, I have Philip Simmons, who runs our mission programs, Wendy Letterman, who runs our local Take Stock in Children Putnam County program, in addition to our DOC program, our adult education program that we were funded last year, and we are grateful for the support of you guys. in addition to Serena Martinez, local Take Stock in Children team member here. We've grown that program from 1 to over 100 students, so we're grateful for the community support, all the mentors, all the funding. We bring in about 70% of the funding for that program. Last year, we expanded our adult education program, A-STEP, into Putnam County through an appropriation that went through the DOC. Senator Hudson and Representative Payne, we're grateful for their support and hopeful that you guys will consider supporting us again this year. We have seen a huge amount of success in a very short amount of time. Took us a minute to get it up and running with the DOC, but we are signed, sealed, and delivered. So far, in a short amount of time, we've served over 50 individuals. These individuals have earned nearly 50 certifications: ServSafe, forklift, earth moving equipment operator, Florida Ready to Work, security licenses, CDL, the list goes on. Not only are they earning certifications, they're getting jobs. These individuals have been impacted by the justice system, so we are requesting additional funding based on the success we've seen right now to continue the funding and to be able to monitor those individuals so that we can help improve the recidivism rates in Putnam County. So that is our program. We are grateful for the past support. Looking forward to seeing you guys in Tallahassee. Our lobby group, Gray Robinson, will be reaching out to set up a couple of meetings. And thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. On deck, we've got Melaine Soldavilla. I apologize, and you'll correct me when you're up here. But now we recognize Les Sims, Chairman of the Education Foundation of Putnam County. I apologize. On deck, we have Heather Hudson. Since you signed up ahead of time, we're going to make sure you get to go. Heather Hudson is next on deck. Apologies.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. My staff wrote me a speech, but if I use big words and proper grammar, you're going to know it's not me, so I'm going to shoot from the hip here. I'm chairman of the board for the Education Foundation of Putnam County. I have been for the last couple of years. Our sole mission is to seek out funding sources and opportunities and bring it back to the district for our teachers and students. Last year, we applied for a state appropriation, and we got some help from Representative Payne in the House and the Senate and the governor, and we were able to take $167,000 and apply it to our aerospace program, which is a big industry here in Florida, we all know. So what did we do with that money that we got? This year, in conjunction with the district, because they did all the hard work here, we just provided funding, we were able to put 200 students into this program. At the end of this year, we're going to graduate approximately 27 students with a pilot's license. We have 200 kids ready to enter the industry, aerospace industry, through manufacturing, engineering, and whatnot. So this year, what we're asking is a little larger ask. We're asking for $337,000, and what we would like to do is to take that same program but expand it. We need to focus on the engineering and manufacturing side. This is what we're hearing from the large corporations in Cape Canaveral. We would like to take that and with a goal of introducing 600 kids a year into that industry. It may not reach that, but that would be the goal. So we have filled out our paperwork for the House and the Senate. You will see that in your offices, but that's going to be our ask. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. Nope. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
On deck is now Melena, and then we recognize Heather Hudson.
Hello, my name is Heather Hudson, and it's nice to meet you, and congratulations to both of you. This is my husband, Gary. I'm here to talk about something that's difficult, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I actually have a muscle disease, so it's hard for me to breathe and see. So I might struggle a little bit, and this is very emotional as well. Some of you may know me. I have talked to Robert Kennedy Jr., Tucker Carlson, Moms for America, and more. My son is named Cody, and he was significantly injured by the COVID-19 vaccines. His case is peer-reviewed and published. I'm a published author on COVID-19 vaccine injury. I am here to talk about medical care for them. I'm not sure how you can help me, but I'd like to get this out there and see if there's anybody in this room that maybe I can open eyes, number one, and number two, see if there's some level of care or help within the state or even my county. My son Cody was 21, and he was a runner 5 days a week, 5 times a week, so more than 25 miles a week. He had been tested for autoimmune disorder because I have autoimmune disorders, and they were negative before the pandemic. He took his COVID-19 vaccines, and once he did, after his second shot, he ended up with rashes and then what's believed to be a DVT on his right leg. Then he was hospitalized. We lived in St. Augustine at the time. And he had a massive pulmonary embolism in his left lung, lesser emboli in the right lung, leaky heart valves, left ventricular hypertrophy, and then he ended up having another infarct in the left lung and a partially collapsed lung. He had a suspected stroke at that time. At the age of 21, he turned 22 in the hospital. He had a massive reaction. As you all know, the hospitals and the medical care system were ill-prepared for what took place. We have a congressional report that came out recently that specifically addressed COVID-19 vaccine injury and the compensation programs, CICP, and I'm going to say BICP as well. I am very well involved, and as a matter of fact, I just got a text from Brianne Dressen of React 19 to see how this was going. So there are a lot of people that are supportive of what I'm about to say, including the FLCCC, React 19, and the Vaccine Safety Research Foundation. Most people do not know that during this pandemic, there was $42 billion that was spent for COVID-19 infection, testing, research, and mandatory reporting. There were no dollars spent for testing, research, or mandatory reporting of vaccine injuries. Yes.
Yeah, I apologize. I will do this for everybody to be fair. I'll try to let you finish the current thought you're on when you reach the time, but obviously we'll reach out with our staffs and offices to be able to hear and we're so sorry for your families and our prayers. But thank you for coming, and that'll be, you'll see as we all go through. If you go over the time, I'll just try to let you finish your thought and then go on to the next person. But we thank you, and we're going to need to call the next person now. Thank you so, thank you so much.
Can I talk about Cody's Law that I wrote just for a moment, please?
Okay, we've got a copy of it, but we do have to stay on schedule, and I apologize. It's only fair for everybody. But like I said, we'll try to schedule meetings to talk to you about it.
Thank you for your
From
time.
there. Thank you very much. So on deck, we've got Brenda Bridges, and we recognize Melania Soldvilla. I apologize. Thank you for correcting this. And you are with the CDS Family and Behavioral Health.
It's Melanie Soldvilla.
Melanie, there we go. That was the worst one of the day so far, so good job. You win the prize.
Thank you for having me and hearing me. While CDS operates a well-established and respected behavioral management and delinquency, truancy, and substance abuse prevention programs in 11 North Florida counties, including Putnam County. While our vehicles are in service in all 3 shelters are maintained and safe for the intended purposes, they are reaching the end of their useful life, and they need to be replaced. Based on CDS's history, programs, and plans, and in the interest of public safety and transportation of the youth under our care, we request the delegation support of our local funding request. And you're asking what we give to the community in return. We're a nonprofit, so we don't ask the parents that need the help to pay for anything. We want them to come to us because they need the help and not wonder how they're going to eat that night versus getting help for their children. Is there any questions for me?
Oh, we appreciate what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On deck, we have Timothy Hotling. Apologies again. But we now have Brenda Bridges.
Good afternoon. Brenda Bridges,
Tax
Putnam
collector.
County
Thank
Tax
you.
Collector.
Thank you. I just saw the job title. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I want to welcome you on behalf of the Putnam County Tax Collector's Office and congratulate you on your seats. We are glad to have you here. Historically, both your offices have been very supportive of the Tax Collectors Association. for the state of Florida and for all the agencies that we represent, Department of Highway Safety, Florida Fish and Wildlife, and Department of Agriculture. So we thank you for that and ask for your continued support there. I hope you won't be disappointed if we don't have an appropriations request. The tax collectors are not good at asking for money, but we're really good at collecting it. So I am here to support my county and municipal colleagues as we all work to provide for the needs of our citizens. So we thank you for your dedication and your support of Putnam County. Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate the job you do. So on deck, we have Wendy Massolini. Massolin, we'll find out. But sir, Timothy, you're up.
Hi, I'm Tim Hotelling. I just had the good fortune to live on the St. Johns River. Had the bad fortune to be living there when all of the submerged aquatic vegetation went away. Took out over 60 miles of the river. I had some more good fortune by bumping into Dan Coulterman of the Fish and Wildlife Commission, Aquatic Rehabilitation and something, that's found out that he and Water Management came and put a little cage in the river. There was nothing you could see. The cage kept critters, turtles primarily, from coming in and grazing. We had grass yay big in 3 months, 30 days. Anyhow, it's there. He'd been working our time in, my money, my fence, to help support the thing, and some contributions to Fish and Wildlife Management. I've paid a lot of attention to what's gone on, and I would encourage you all to put all of your funding support to the Fish and Wildlife Commission Foundation. They have a plan, and it doesn't include paying contractors and whatever. I've given one flyer with some pictures with how literally exhilarating it was when you could see the plant popped up and there was flowers and it was everything like Dr. Bob Bernstein said it would be. And then we've had some hurdles to overcome. We've overcome it. You have to realize that in there is an attachment talking about a learned professor that makes the observation that when Mother Nature, she has quite a capacity to absorb, but when she goes down, as our river's gone down, it's going to take a whole bunch more energy to flip it again, which means a whole bunch more effort, time, money, and a plan. And in my opinion, plan's not there. I've included a Bassmasters folk when they came here last time. They made a real good article explaining a lot of the progress we've made. I would be indebted if you all take a few minutes of your time as you're riding from here to there to read it. It's good writing. It's not my flumbled talking. And it is a project. You've seen LACO, how long they've been fighting for that. You've got that ahead of us, and unless people acknowledge the fact that there's a huge, huge project, you're going to be 50 years and we'll all be dead and somebody else will be hearing the same thing. Okay?
Thank you, sir. On deck, we have Diane Wojcik, and I now call Wendy Massolin with UF-IFAS extension. We recognize.
Mussolini.
It was that.
I'm just kidding. It's Mussolini. Born and raised here in Putnam County. Appreciate y'all representing Putnam County. I am here to just say hello. I want you to save and preserve as much agriculture in Putnam County that you possibly can. Anything comes across your desk, Farm Bill's important to our local farmers. Something I'm real excited about is the Florida Ag Tech Accelerator Program, which University of Florida is partnering with President Pickens and the St. Johns River State College to actually have a legitimate ag degree, maybe just a 2-year degree come out of our state college, because we have so many rural kids that are really raised in agriculture, and we have great ag programs in our high schools, but then they either have to go off to UF or ABAC or somewhere like that. We'd like to keep them in Putnam and employ them in Putnam in our farms. So I am excited about that program. It is think, already been funded by the legislature, so if it comes across your desk, be a nice check off. I'm not here to ask for anything specifically, just for you guys to remember, there is no culture without agriculture. So please support our local ag, our farmers, get out the county line, the stand, eat our fresh veggies while they're in season. Food security is about having food grown locally, and we need your help to keep that going. I've never really seen houses produce food, so keep that in mind. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you don't mind, it's a good opportunity to tell you that, every term really has a theme, and whether it's stated or unstated. And I look at this, the presiding officers in the Senate, the presiding officer in the Senate, and he's a farmer. And I look at the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, and he's a farmer. So it looks to me like ag's going to have a couple of good years. Now, if you want a library, it better be an ag library. But I think everything coming at you is going to be pretty ag-centric, so it's going to be a good couple of years.
And on deck, we have Michael Greenman, and we recognize Diane Wojcik. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp. My name is Diane Wojcik, and I'm a registered voter in Putnam County. I'm asking for a call for change. There's an urgent need for an independent ombudsman office for Florida's Department of Corrections. There was a bill that was drafted and passed in the federal system earlier this year and in about a dozen other states. And I'll provide a copy of the bill summary for each of you, and I hope that you'll consider sponsoring or at least supporting the bill. Why an ombudsman? An ombudsman serves as a critical bridge between the incarcerated individuals, the correctional system, and the public. This role involves investigating complaints, monitoring facility conditions, and advocating for necessary reforms. As Nelson Mandela famously shared, it is said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. An ombudsman office could free up your time by addressing issues that constituents would now come to you for to resolve. Legislators across the state are currently being asked by their constituents to do unannounced prison visits to investigate the deplorable conditions and treatment of their incarcerated loved ones. I have many family members and friends who work for the Florida Department of Corrections in administrative as well as correctional officer positions, and the abuse they witness, not only for the incarcerated but also for some of the officers, is disturbing. Some of them have quit or retired early because they just can't stomach the consistent abuse and violations that they've personally witnessed. It's time for action, it's time for accountability, and it's time for change. The Florida prison system is at a crossroads, and we as advocates are no longer asking for change, we're demanding it. Here are the facts. Florida ranks among the top states for prison population, yet transparency and oversight are shockingly inadequate. Reports of inhumane conditions, abuse, and neglect continue to rise with no independent voice to hold the system accountable. Families are often silent victims, watching their loved ones suffer without recourse or justice. An ombudsman bill would change this, and here are some ways how. Number one, an independent oversight. An ombudsman serves as an impartial watchdog, ensuring fair treatment of the residents as well as the staff. Number two, accountability for all. No more hiding behind closed doors. Mismanagement, corruption, and systemic failures will be exposed and addressed. Number three, family advocacy. Families could finally have a trusted advocate to ensure their voices are heard and their concerns addressed. The time to act is now. Pass the ombudsman bill. Show us that justice is not just a word, but a promise to every person in this state. This isn't about politics. This is about humanity. This isn't about sides. It's about solutions. This isn't just a demand. This is a movement. Please, let's stop this type of treatment. No one deserves this. Stand with us to advocate for an ombudsman in Florida, because accountability, transparency, and justice should be the pillars of our correctional system.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you speaking today. Next, we have Michael Greenman. I will say, before you step up, this will be the last speaker that's filled out a speaker card. If you filled out a speaker card and I did not call you, let me know, let my staff know, because that means something went wrong, and I will get you in if you took the time to fill out a card. So thank you, Michael. With the Putnam Federation of Teachers United.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Greenan. I've been a teacher in this county for 22 years on the elementary school level. And I'm the vice president of PFTU, and I'm also a member of the Republican Party. From the energy in the elementary school cafeterias to riding buses to football games on Friday nights, neighborhood public schools are where communities happen. I see this daily in my classroom, and it thrills me to see our children growing and learning something new every day. Recently, the legislation has made strides to address the issues facing education, and we thank you for that. Including one of those strides is making more pathways for teaching certificates and regulations in education. We know that our working environments and our students' learning environments. So as you consider education policy during this session, I have suggestions to help the issues faced in our campuses and classrooms. And since so many people haven't been asking for stuff, I'm going to ask for 3 quick things. One, expand the financial investment in our public schools, allocate sufficient funds to compensate all school employees fairly, investing just $1,000 per student each year in the FEFP will ensure students have access to world-class public education and simultaneously move Florida's teacher salary ranking from the bottom into the top 10 in the nation. 2, please support Senator Rodriguez's Senate Bill 136 addressing merit pay issues for educators. This bill is a step in the right direction for helping more teachers stay in the profession. And 3, I would ask that you look into helping create better discipline policies and laws for the DOE to implement for students that continually disrupt classes, physically and or verbally attack staff and students. This way our neighborhood public schools can continue to raise the academic bar in Florida. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in Tallahassee.
Thank you very much. And if I missed anyone, now would be the time to let me know. Thank you very much. All right, now we must officially nominate a chair for the next delegation meeting, and I hereby, despite his attempt to get me to do it, nominate Senator Tom Leek. And so he seconds it because he has to. And then you'll need to nominate me as vice chair.
I nominate Representative Sapp as vice chair.
Second, and so with no opposition, that passes. So we'll have some closing remarks. Senator, I'll let you go first.
Thank you. I just want to say how honored I am and how humbled I am to be able to represent you all in Tallahassee. This has been an amazing trip for me. One of the most meaningful things that I've ever done in life was run for office and serve in the House of Representatives. And I'm hoping that I can carry forward, Putnam's purpose in Tallahassee and make sure that we take care of Putnam. So thank you all very much.
It's an honor to serve you, and we really appreciate your time in coming here today and being part of this process. Our offices are always open to you. You know that. We will work really hard to represent you and all of Florida. Thank you for your time, and with that, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting. All right, this meeting is adjourned.